Alright, now let's have a look at the last turn. Sweeper here. Now about this point, my eyes leave the apex and I start looking for this piece of white paint here. You'll notice I'm still leaning out. My goal here is to line this right wheel up and point it at the white paint. And I'm heading for my turn in. Now, I think the sweet spot for this is just past the white paint. That's your turn in point. Just as the wheel just gets past, you want to snap about here. Sometimes though you can get on that gas. Sorry, you can turn in earlier, right at the edge of the white paint. So it just depends on the kart what you can get away with. If you can get an earlier turn in, sometimes it's advantageous, and I'll play with it to see what works, what sticks. Because some karts are loose, some karts really love to turn left. Some of them push and don't want to turn at all on their left. So if they push and don't want to turn, you might start trying to turn earlier, because it's not going to be responsive on the entry. If they're really sharp, you might want to try and turn later. If they tend to be loose, you might try earlier or later. You just got to try these things out. But I look like I've started my turn in over here on the white paint, and the snap has really happened here. I'm locked at the sweet spot. So at about this point, I'm leaning to the right, pushing in. Often I push in fairly solid with my heel, but it's a very tricky thing to do in a brake zone like this. Let's have a look at where my braking starts. So I seem to be coming down on the brakes already, slowly, and there's a good squeeze right with the turn in. And I'm off the brake here. So it's just a short little brake. Squeeze on the brake and off. So it's what I'm thinking and what I'm trying to do here is somewhat of a straight line brake, but it's a bit of a trail brake. And what we're trying to do is load that front end up for the rotation. So yeah, brake from here, and still braking on its rotation, release. As I release the brake, I release the steering. This may have been an isolated incident. It's a really tricky turn that I pulled off here. I mean, if you had to repeat it. My thinking here is to load up the front, get off the gas, off the brake, and blip on the gas here, and use this steering release to get downforce in the rear. So I'm rotated, and as soon as I release, what I'm trying to do, if I'm releasing the wheel like this, is I'm trying to get the weight to go back to the rear. I'll often combine this with a blip on the gas. Then I'll release the gas, and then reapply the gas. Let's see if we can watch the gas pedal with the steering input. You can see the gas coming down. Should come down here. Yeah, I think it's definitely coming down here at this point. And we're going to hold the hand steady through that exit. So the release for balance, and then reapply steering with gas. See if we can get a quick look at that at speed. You see that little hand release on the steering right near the apex? That's the trick. That gets you rear downforce and acceleration.